Movie begins with a group of army trucks traveling through the middle of nowhere to assist a convoy that has been stranded on the road for quite some time. One staff sergeant starts angrily complaining that the whole mission is a waste of time, but it soon becomes clear that he is only teasing his brother, who is serving alongside him. While the staff sergeant works on repairing one of the trucks, his brother tells him that they should be fighting on the front line and that they should try to join the Army Rangers. At first, the staff sergeant shows no real interest in the idea, but when his brother reminds him of the promise they once made to fight side by side, he begins to reconsider. Suddenly, everything changes as their entire unit comes under attack. In the middle of the chaos, the staff sergeant is struck by the blast and loses consciousness. When he finally opens his eyes again, he is in terrible pain. He pulls a piece of metal out of his leg and then looks around, only to realize that he is the only soldier left alive after the ambush. Desperate, he crawls over to his brother, but the moment he reaches him, he breaks down after seeing that his brother did not survive. 2 years later, the staff sergeant wakes up on a bus after once again reliving that traumatic attack in his sleep. He now wears a brace on his injured leg and takes medication as he tries to move forward with his life. Soon, the bus drops him off at a ranger training base in Colorado, where he joins the assessment and selection program. Each man is then assigned a number, and the staff sergeant receives number 81. Because of his military record, he is offered the chance to become a team leader, but he turns it down without hesitation. Not long after, First Sergeant Torres gives the recruits a harsh speech about what lies ahead. He explains that the training will last for 8 weeks and will push them to their emotional, physical, and mental limits. If they manage to survive until the final stage, they will face a brutal 24-hour simulated mission known as the Death March. Crossing the finish line is the only way they can earn the chance to become a ranger. Training begins with standard physical tests designed to measure their speed, endurance, and overall fitness. To make things even harder, several rangers throw water at them to simulate harsh rain conditions. Even though the drills are basic military exercises, many recruits still fail and are immediately removed from the program. As the days pass, more and more men are eliminated. After 4 weeks, the training moves into the woods. While the other recruits begin talking and getting to know one another, number 81 stays distant and keeps to himself. He pushes ahead alone, always moving faster than everyone else. By the time the others finally reach him, he is already on his way back. The other recruits make fun of him for it, but 81 says nothing and simply ignores them. The next afternoon, Torres asks the recruits whether any of them have real field experience, and only a few raise their hand. But when it is 81's turn to speak, the atmosphere suddenly becomes uncomfortable because most of the others already know what happened to his convoy. Later, after a full day of shooting practice, the team heads to dinner. That is when the recruits who know about 81 begin telling the others his story. It turns out that after the attack, he carried his brother nearly 10 miles back to base and was later awarded a Silver Star for it. When some of the recruits try to ask 81 about what happened, they are immediately scolded for gossiping and punished with even more physical training. At the same time, news reports begin mentioning that NASA has detected an asteroid that is expected to pass close to Earth. As the days go by, the training becomes even more brutal, and more recruits are removed from the program. Throughout all of this, 81 always waits until everyone is asleep before quietly taking his medication. But Seven notices him. The following day, during a short break, Seven correctly guesses the meaning behind one of 81's tattoos. However, he refuses to explain how he figured it out, leaving 81 confused and unsettled. During the next underwater exercise, 81 pushes himself far beyond his limit. As he struggles beneath the surface, he keeps thinking about his brother and about how he was unable to save him in time. Determined never to feel that helpless again, he forces himself to keep going, but this nearly costs him everything. He stays underwater for too long and almost loses consciousness, forcing the other soldiers to pull him out and help him recover. Later, while waiting outside his superior's office, 81 sees another news report announcing that the asteroid appears to be breaking apart. Experts now believe it may actually be a cluster of smaller interstellar objects instead of a single body. Once he is called inside, Torres and Sheridan advise him to quit the program. They are deeply concerned about his mental state. He keeps to himself, avoids socializing, and never received proper help after the convoy attack. In fact, the sergeants admit that they see him as one of the most promising candidates in the entire group. That is exactly why they want him to leave on his own rather than force them to remove him later. At first, 81 reacts emotionally, but after calming himself, he respectfully refuses their offer and walks out of the office. A short time later, when the weakest recruits are lined up and dismissed, 81 assumes he is about to be removed as well. Instead, he learns that he is one of the few soldiers who successfully passed the course. Now, the remaining team is given just 30 minutes to prepare for the final test. Inside the hangar, Torres shows them a map of the terrain and explains the details of the Death March. A classified aircraft has reportedly gone down beyond the combat zone. Their mission is to cross dangerous territory, make sure the aircraft does not fall into the wrong hand, and then locate a rebel village in order to rescue the pilot. For this operation, Seven is assigned as the second in command, while 81 is chosen as the team leader. The recruits board the helicopters, and the aircraft quickly lifts off. Soon after, they are dropped by helicopter a short distance from enemy territory. 81 leads the team through the jungle toward the target aircraft. As night falls, they are forced to stop and rest. But during the night, something suddenly passes over them. The team assumes it is just part of the training, possibly meant to scare them. Despite this, 81 decides to keep moving and leads the team forward through the darkness. By morning, they finally spot the target aircraft from a distance. They begin planning their approach carefully. However, one of the soldiers notices something strange. The aircraft is nearly 100 meters away from the coordinates they were given. At the same time, their radios stop working and only produce a strange static sound. Although it feels unusual, they assume it is part of the test and continue with the mission. The team quietly takes positions around the aircraft. Just then, 81 notices something unusual while looking up at the sky. Out of the corner of his eye, he catches a reflection in the distance. He informs the team and goes to investigate it on his own. Meanwhile, the rest of the team sees that no one is guarding the aircraft. They move in closer, inspect it, and begin placing charges. But when 81 reaches the source of the reflection, he is completely shocked. The real aircraft is lying somewhere else in the jungle. At the same moment, his team triggers the explosion. 81 immediately runs back to warn them, but the team quickly notices something strange. Even after the explosion, the aircraft shows no damage at all. Before they can even process it, the machine suddenly powers on. And then they realize something far worse. It is not an aircraft. It is some kind of machine. The machine begins scanning the surrounding area. Before the team can react, it deploys weapons and starts attacking them. The soldiers panic and try to escape. Amid the chaos, 81 manages to save one of his teammates. Realizing they have no chance against it, the team retreats and runs deeper into the jungle. Eventually, they stop near a steep hillside. While trying to find a way out, a projectile suddenly lands nearby. The blast sends them sliding down the slope. Most of them survive, but 7 injures his leg. Seeing the situation, they try to contact their base using the radio. 81 goes back to retrieve it, but when he reaches the location, he finds that the radio has already been destroyed. At that moment, the machine appears again, scanning the area. 81 quickly returns to the team and tells them the truth. The machine is now hunting them. Without wasting time, they begin lowering themselves down the cliff using ropes. But while helping their injured teammate, the machine catches up to them again. It launches another attack at the last man on the rope. Despite the danger, the remaining soldiers manage to reach the bottom and take cover with 7. But as the machine scans the area again, 7's injured leg is exposed. Realizing they have been detected, they immediately start running once more. Ahead of them lies a dense jungle, but one by one, several soldiers are taken out during the pursuit. In the end, only a few of them manage to escape and lose the machine for a brief moment. On an open grassland, the team finally stops to rest. They begin discussing what might really be happening, while 81 tries to bandage 7's injured leg. But the moment he sees the blood, he suddenly freezes. Noticing this, 7 calmly speaks to him and helps him regain focus. Unfortunately, their medical supplies were lost during the earlier attack. With no other option, 81 carefully resets the bone without any medicine, and the intense pain causes 7 to lose consciousness. After that, 81 tells the team that what he saw earlier was their actual target, and it wasn't the machine. This means they've unknowingly stepped into something far beyond their control. Their only option now is to reach the village. 15 argues that crossing an open field would leave them completely exposed, but 81 makes it clear they have no other choice. After dropping all non-essential gear, the team moves forward, carrying 7 on a stretcher. Eventually, they reach a river with strong, fast-moving currents. 81 quickly decides to set up a zip line to cross it. He ties a rope around himself and jumps into the freezing water. The current immediately begins pulling him away, and for a few seconds, 44 loses sight of him. But 81 keeps pushing forward and, after a difficult struggle, manages to reach the other side. Once the line is secured, 15 begins crossing while pulling the stretcher with 7. But halfway across, the stretcher gets caught on a knot in the rope. 15 moves back to fix it, but during the struggle, one side of the stretcher comes loose, leaving it hanging dangerously. Seeing this, 81 and 44 climb from opposite sides to balance the line. Working together, they help 15 stabilize the stretcher and keep it from falling. While everyone is focused on this, they fail to notice that their compass has started malfunctioning again. Suddenly, the machine appears. It scans the area and immediately opens fire, forcing the entire team into the water. The strong current sweeps everyone away, except for 81, whose leg gets tangled in the rope. The machine steps into the water and prepares to attack him. Thinking fast, 81 cuts the rope with his knife and manages to escape just in time. Nearby, 7 is drifting away on the stretcher. Seeing this, 81 immediately swims after him. But but the force of the water is too strong, and both of them are dragged over a waterfall. Just before losing strength, 81 manages to reach 7, but then everything goes dark. Sometime later, the team wakes up on the riverbank. They realize they were saved by 60, who explains that he was swept away during the earlier attack and later spotted them coming down the waterfall. Without wasting time, 81 tells everyone to keep moving. After hours of walking through hills and dense forest, 81 suddenly stops the team after spotting a trap. It's a wire tied between trees with a flare attached, clearly something set up during their original mission. They carefully avoid it and continue forward, eventually reaching the village. But what they find is devastating. The entire place has been destroyed. The communication antenna is completely damaged, explaining why they've had no signal. 81 studies the scene and tracks the direction of the damage. At that moment, the team realizes something disturbing. The machine may have arrived with a fragmented asteroid, meaning it's not from Earth. Suddenly, they hear a faint voice. They move debris aside and find a badly injured sergeant. He looks at them one last time before going still. Nearby, they find a damaged tank, and 81 decides it's their only chance to move quickly. But 15 pushes back, frustrated with 81's cold attitude. That's when 81 finally breaks. He reveals he never made it back in time. He woke up in a hospital while his brother was already gone. Since then, he's carried the weight of that moment and refuses to let it happen again. His words hit the team hard. They realize this mission is no longer just about survival. It's about warning the world. Motivated, everyone starts working together to get the tank running. When it still won't start, 15 steps in and uses his skills to fix it. Soon, the tank finally comes to life. Just then, a flare lights up the sky. The team realizes the machine has triggered the trap. Everyone quickly gets inside the tank. 15 runs back to grab extra ammo, but before he can return, the machine appears and takes him down. The team has no choice but to move forward. 44 drives the tank through the forest while the others fire at the machine, but it quickly becomes clear their weapons aren't enough to stop it. The machine continues attacking the tank, forcing 44 to push the vehicle to its limit. Soon, part of the tank catches fire, but the team quickly puts it out using an extinguisher. Still, it's clear the armor won't hold much longer. Suddenly, the machine stops chasing them. For a moment, it feels like they've escaped, but then they realize the truth. It's preparing a heavier attack. Moments later, explosive rounds begin landing around the tank, shaking it violently and throwing everyone against the wall. But the next blast is powerful enough to send the tank sliding down a hill. It crashes through trees one after another before finally bursting out of the forest. For a second, everything goes quiet. The machine is gone. But then, they realize something far worse. The machine is above them. It suddenly drops down from the cliff, landing right in front of the tank and firing a powerful energy blast. 44 barely manages to steer away in time. The chase begins again. The team fires back with everything they have, but it makes no difference. Another blast hits the tank, tearing away a large portion of its armor. At the same time, 7 slips out, and 81 grabs the stretcher rope, trying to hold him. But another impact shakes everything loose, and 7 falls behind them. With no other option, 81 fires toward the mountain, triggering a landslide that buries the machine under debris. For a brief moment, it works. But right then, the tank explodes. 81 suddenly wakes up from a flash of memory, hearing his brother's voice telling him not to give up. When he looks around, everything is silent. The entire team is gone. He's the only one left. Spotting sparks nearby, 81 rushes toward them, hoping the machine is destroyed, but all he finds is one broken arm. Then he turns and sees the rest of the machine still active, sending a signal into the sky. Without wasting time, 81 runs back and finds 7 still alive on the stretcher. Just then, the sound of sparks from the destroyed tank draws the machine's attention back toward them. 81 grabs the stretcher and runs. For hours, he keeps moving, dragging 7 through rain and mud, refusing to leave him behind. Eventually, the rope snaps, and 81 collapses in exhaustion. At that moment, his watch alerts him. The mission time is over. That's when 7 finally regains consciousness. He reveals that he once served with 81's brother, and that he never stopped talking about becoming a ranger. 7 tells him something important, that he hasn't failed, because he never gave up. But before they can say anything else, the machine scans the area again. This time, 81 notices something different. Smoke is coming out of it. It's overheating or venting. Then he spots something nearby, an old quarry, and suddenly he gets an idea. After hiding 7 safely, 81 heads toward the quarry. There, he finds explosives, a flare gun, and a control system for the rock carrier. And now, he's ready to make his final move. The machine soon enters the forest and nearly finds 7, but at the last second, 81 fires a flare, redirecting its attention toward a nearby quarry. As soon as the machine reaches the quarry, hidden explosives suddenly detonate, knocking it off balance. Moments later, 81 appears in a bulldozer and forcefully pushes the machine, trapping it against a rock wall. As the machine struggles to fight back, 81 activates the rock carrier, causing massive chunks of stone to start crashing down on top of it. The machine quickly responds by activating its thrusters, managing to push the bulldozer away and preparing another another powerful attack. But 81 doesn't back down. He accelerates and slams the machine back against the wall once again. This time, even as the bulldozer begins to fail, it holds long enough for the falling rocks to block the machine's vents. With its system unable to release heat, the machine starts to overheat from the inside. In one final attempt, it brings down a tower, crashing it onto the bulldozer. But just in time, 81 jumps out and avoids the impact. Seconds later, the overheating reaches its limit. The machine detonates, triggering a chain reaction as the hidden explosives go off across the quarry. 81 runs at full speed and barely escapes the blast zone before everything erupts behind him. The next morning, 81 carries 7 on his shoulders and finally reaches the base. But what he finds is chaos. The area is devastated, with injured soldiers and destruction everywhere. Helicopters are seen dropping recovered parts of the alien machines. As medics rush 7 away for treatment, Sheridan approaches 81 and explains the situation. They've managed to secure the base, but at a heavy cost. Nearly half the battalion is gone. The machines weren't isolated. They've appeared across multiple locations. Humanity managed to stop the first wave, but a much larger threat is coming. News reports begin showing footage from around the world. Fragments from the sky are landing in different countries, each one releasing more machines. Global leaders are gathering. Military forces are joining together. A worldwide response is beginning. 81 then shares critical information. The machine's ventilation system is its weakness. This detail is immediately passed across all military channels worldwide. Sheridan tells him this information will save countless lives, and in that moment, he officially welcomes 81 as a ranger. Shortly after, 81 stands in front of his team and delivers a final message before deployment. Then, together, they board the helicopter, ready for what comes next. As the helicopters lift off, 81 finally closes his eyes, but this time, there are no nightmares. Instead, he sees a quiet memory of his brother, a moment of peace. And with that, the mission is no longer just about survival. It's about saving the world. I hope you enjoyed this story. Thanks for watching till the end.